Yes, for me, the film is full or based on cinematic manipulations. The way it uses image, the way it uses the sound, the way the scenes are constructed, the way it shows the bad ones and the good ones. You know, moreover, I had the feeling that exactly since we are talking about such a huge topic, such a complex topic, such a tragic topic, such a tragedy, exactly these kind of events, these kind of tragic events, they oblige us to make serious movies. They oblige us to be as serious as possible. And this movie for me was exactly the opposite. This movie for me was really a series of basic and cheap cinematic manipulations. So, you know, I make movies that are very often polemic, that are very often controversial. These movies, my movies, they gained awards all over the world in the most prestigious places, in Cannes, in Berlin, and also in Goa Film Festival. I think that almost all of them were shown there and they awarded. And yes, there are people who talk to them with the same gravity that I was talking about Kashmir Files. There are people, not few, who write or tell very hard things using you know the harshest words, and I accept it. You don't expect me now to make an analysis of Schindler List or of not any other movie. What I can say is that even the most terrible tragedies, the most terrible things that happen might give birth to propaganda and to manipulative movies. And I want to make one thing clear, extremely clear and totally clear. Not for even 1 second, not for even 1 second, I thought or I imagined to talk about the tragedy of Kashmir. Not for even 1 second I've been standing there and talking about the historical facts. Not for even 1 second I imagined to put myself inside this historical debate. I don't feel that I'm appropriate to do it, and it's not my role. I was talking as a filmmaker, as an artist, about the cinematic text, and only about the cinematic text. And each attempt to take my words and to turn them to a position inside the Kashmir case is just a cheap manipulation. It's a cheap manipulation in order to incite people against what I said and to make political profit out. My statement and my opinions were shared by all the jury members. We were sitting, all of us, at the screening room, having the same feelings after the screening, saying the same words. Everyone was aware of what is going to be said. I understand, and I have emails and WhatsApps that prove it. I understand that under pressure or fear or anxiety, people can suddenly change their statements, and I don't want to judge them. For me, it's not a personal thing. I understand that someone can be afraid, can feel under pressure, and try to change and to modify what happened. But what I said was clearly. I have a suggestion, since I guess that you consider yourself as a serious journalist. I hope so. You can call, for instance, the French jury member, Pascal. You can call, for instance, the Spanish jury member, Javier, and ask them. Ask them. I'm not going to do such a thing because I understand the sensibility and of the situation of people who are afraid and feel that they might pay a price for what they said. And I'm sure that you and all the viewers, we respect above everything the freedom of speech and the freedom of people to express their opinion. And this year was invited to Goa as the president of the jury because of my achievements as a filmmaker in order to express my opinion, my view, and the view of the jury about the movies. So exactly as much as the people who love the movie have, of course, the full right, it goes without saying, to claim that it's a brilliant, unbelievable movie, I have the right to claim that it's the opposite. And what I did is my duty towards the festival that invited me, the festival which invited me in order to express my opinion about the movies and to say the truth as I see it. Of course, it's subjective. We don't talk here about a scientific thing. I think that politicians, they have their way of make profits out of cases like this. I think that the Israeli politicians and the ambassador did and abused in an ugly, disgusting, and manipulative ways this case. You know, I'm a private person. I have the right to say what I think. I don't need to get authorization for this, neither from the Israeli ambassador nor from no one else. I'm not their property. I don't need to get advice from there to what I say and what I don't say. I was talking as a private person and as an artist and as a filmmaker, as the president of the jury, invited by this jury to give his opinion about the movies. When the Israeli ambassador condemned what I said about the tragedy of Kashmir, he's doing exactly the same manipulation because, as I said, and I will say it if I'll have to another 1,000 times, I was never ever speaking about the Kashmir tragedy, and I totally not taking back what I said, but I'm really sorry if people were hurted because of this. I was talking about the movie, the Kashmir Files, that was done based on this tragedy. And when the Israeli ambassador condemns what I'm saying and claiming that he is not a film expert, but he thinks that the Kashmir File is not a propaganda movie, first of all, it's his right. Second of all, as he's saying himself and witnessing himself, he is not a film expert, so maybe it's not extremely appropriate to give his opinion. I mean, it's his subjective opinion. Third of all, you know, he was standing there on stage saying that unfortunately he doesn't have time to watch movies, so he doesn't know a lot about cinema. So I don't know to which extent when he's claiming that it's a propaganda movie or not a propaganda movie, what exactly does it mean? But all of this is a cheap manipulation, cheap political manipulation. It is done by people in Israel and also by certain people in India about what I was saying. Invited by the festival. I don't know exactly. I got an email from the festival. You know, I was a jury member in dozens and dozens of film festivals. I was a jury member in the official competition in Berlin Film Festival, in sidebars in Cannes, presidents of a sidebar section in Venice, official competition in Locarno. I've been jury member and jury president in dozens of film festivals. And when I was invited to go, I was extremely happy because, as I said, I think that almost all my movies, or maybe all my movies, were shown there because my movie won the two very prestigious prize because it's such a prestigious film festival, and because I wanted to get to know India. Listen, I make films from the bottom of my heart. I'm Israeli. I grew up in Israeli. I passed through the whole Israeli process. High school, military service, and of course, when I see things that I dislike in my country, it hurts me. It hurts my feeling, and it hurts my heart. And my movies, which sometimes are critical and sometimes are harsh towards my country, come exactly from this place because this place is dear to my heart. I'm sure you feel the same thing about India, and I'm sure you know very well, and everyone knows very well, that when something is dear to your heart, first of all, you're emotional about it, and second of all, your obligation, your only obligation, is to claim and to say the truth, as you said again and again and again, and I'm not going to repeat it another time because I said it already. I said that there is no label propaganda or no non-propaganda. I said that it's the personal opinion of someone, and I can totally understand how also people can see my films maybe as propaganda. I respect it. Of course, I disagree, but I respect it. This was my opinion and the opinion of people around me. I was invited there to give my opinion about the movies, to give awards to the best movies, to talk about their qualities, and also to talk about what I think about the other movies. And this is exactly what I said.